Okay, next up we're going to do our bound buttonhole. So I usually start by block fusing, which just means cut out a square bigger than what you need, a piece of fabric. So you can see here I've block fused a piece of fabric and I've transferred my pattern for the bound buttonhole, which are just little welts. I've transferred that and now I'm going to cut it out. Much easier and faster than cutting individual welts and trying to fuse them individually. Now that we've cut out the welts, we're going to fold them in half lengthwise and sew right down the middle and then press. Okay, now that we've sewn the welts in half, we are going to sew them to the self. Remember, the raw edges touch each other. Center it over your line, and you want to make sure that you sew past your drill holes, ½ inch past to be exact. You sew that second welt in place, you want to make sure that you mark so that you stop exactly at the same points as you did on the first welt. So both of these welts are going to be formed so that we can make our bound buttonhole. Now we're going to clip the straight line and our triangles. Make sure you go to the thread but not through. Now it's time for us to turn the welts to the inside so that we can see how our bound buttonhole is lining up. Remember, you want to use your hands to pull the edges so that they line up perfectly. Once you flip this totally to the inside, it's going to be time to adjust it and to make sure you line everything up. So now that everything is on the inside, the way to line it up is to hold the raw edges of the welts and pull against them so that you can see your actual square edges. So again, you are going to go to the back side of your piece and literally make sure that you pull the welts so that the folded edges touch each other and that your triangle is in the right spot. Once you finish lining everything up and adjusting it, double check on the outside that it's perfectly square and then press that. Then it'll be time to sew the triangle next. Now we're going to sew the triangle. So remember to make sure that you sew exactly as close as you can to the very bottom end points of our triangle. You want to get right in there as close as you possibly can. Make sure you also go through the welts, so the top and the bottom welt, all the way through. Backstitch at the beginning and end. Now we're going to repeat the same thing for the other side. So you've set in one triangle that secures your welt, which is for your bound buttonhole. Now we need to secure the other end, sewing right through all the layers. Make sure your welts are touching each other right at the center, and so straight through. Back stitch again at the beginning and end. Now you just want to press everything once again to make sure everything is beautiful for your presentation and overlock all the way around the perimeter. This will be fully lined, so all you need are the welts in place for this exercise.